Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to create an application with Kotlin and Android. And so in this video I'm going to show you how to do the login method. And I'm only going to focus on the login method because I'm trying to do the videos as short as possible. So what you see right here is an empty application. You basically go to File, choose New Project, Empty Activity, choose the name of the application, and you choose Kotlin because we're going to be doing Kotlin instead of Java. So the reason that I chose Kotlin over Java is because Google is doing Kotlin first, and they're putting all their eggs in a basket when it comes to Kotlin. So I'm going to continue doing mobile applications with Kotlin, and I'm going to try to do a full stack application with Kotlin throughout this video series. So let's get to it. This is my empty application. As you can see, I called it Kotlin, and this is going to be like a fitness app. So basically, my idea is a fitness app where you can track your personal fitness development in progress, and also you can make groups, make links, or make whatever you want to name it or call it with other people, and track progress as a group, maybe compete against each other, etc. But basically that's the gist of the application. So first thing we want to do is we want to create a Firebase application. So go into new project. I'm going to call it quick link. Accept the terms. Cool. So we're here. We're going to go to the Android logo, and we basically put that there. Let's put it here, why not? Quick link, and then let's get the signing certificate. So to get to the signing certificate, we go here to the Gradle, and I believe we have to go into the Android sign-in report. There you go. We double click it, or you just click here where it says sign-in report, and you're gonna get this SHA1. This is the one that we want. So we copy this, paste it here, and we click register app. So now we need to download this. I'm gonna download it. Here it is. So what I normally do is that from here I change this to project, expand this, and the file that we just downloaded, we have to put it in the app folder. So we go to Finder, Downloads, Google Services, and don't worry about this. Mine appears as a 2 because I've downloaded a previous one for another project, but I'm actually going to rename it as just Google Services. So don't worry about it. Don't get too caught up in that. Okay. This I'm going to change it back to app. Where is it? Let's rename this. Again, you guys don't have to do this because yours should be just like this. So there it is. Now we should be on the same page. Okay, so now that we have that, we switch back to the Android view, which is right here. Because this is the one, well, at least this is the one that I like. Yeah, I think you can still program this view, but I don't like it. I don't even know if you can do all like with that type of folder structure. So yeah, let's just change the Android type of folder structure. Now I'm going to copy some libraries from the project that I just did without filming, and Well, actually, let's just go by Firebase. So we click next. So this here, when you click it, you copy it, and where it says project build Gradle. So we go to under Studio, and we'll go to the project one, to project build. And I believe we added dependencies. So build script dependencies, so dependencies right here. So blah blah blah. That's where it should go. And I'm not gonna put sync now because we're gonna have more stuff here into the build Gradle app. So here we'll have to copy this and we'll have to copy this. So first let's copy this one right here. And I'm just gonna make a reference. Libraries. And then all the way at the bottom, just as specified here, up to the bottom of the file. So we're gonna put that right there. Now, what I did on my previous project is actually this. I added the 12.0.1, and I advise you guys to use the 12.0.1 version, so just you guys can have the same methods as I do. So go ahead and change it to this, it'll still work. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and add the other libraries, the other Firebase libraries. So I'm gonna put this in the description just so you guys can just copy and paste it and you don't have to like type it, you know, letter by letter. So I'm importing the Firebase authentication method or implementation, the database, and the storage. So right now, just yet, we're still not using the database or the storage. We will be using right away the auth and the core. Now, I should keep it in the same version regardless the version number. So not 15 and 16. I don't know if this is explicit, maybe not, but let me explain it. Basically, what I mean with this is that you don't want to have like 12 and 13 or 12 and 14. You want them to be all 12.0.1 just to show. Okay, so let's see how long have I been recording? 7 minutes? Okay, that's not that bad. Alright, so we have this. Now we sync it. So let's sync it. Alright, cool. And don't worry about this. If you don't see an error in the build, which you shouldn't, then we're good to go. So let's close this, let's close that. The main activity, I'm just gonna leave it there. So now what we're gonna do is, actually I'm gonna hide that, I guess. Hide it, collapse it, expand it, collapse it, whatever. So I'm gonna go to Java here, and here press Command N, and instead of creating a Java class or a Kotlin class, I'm just gonna go to Activity, and then choose Empty Activity. I'm gonna call it Login Activity. And as you can see, you're creating the class, but you're also creating the layout file. And I like this a lot much better because, so it's added here, but not only that, you also have the layout file here, take the login, and it's also automatically added here into the manifest, which should be here, login activity. But now that we're in the Android manifest, I want to make this change. So you see this intent filter, we're going to select that, cut it, and we're going to paste it here. Basically what we're doing is we're telling the application that the application is going to launch in the login activity, like it's going to display first the login activity and not the main activity, because that's what we want. So let's just launch it to verify that that's happening. And I'm just gonna put my computer to charge, while it loads. It's taking a little bit. Okay. Just want to verify that that's the login. Yeah, it is, because it doesn't say anything. It should say hello world if it was a main activity. If it was a main, it would say hello world. But this is the it's displaying correctly, basically. I'm trying the content. Oh, by the way, and you're also going to be prompted for this, so you can format XML resources and install standard Android way. And you actually want to do this, so open the Kotlin style settings, then use custom formatting settings for Android, which is just the standard way. Press apply, okay. Then let's just retype it to get rid of that. So write content and text login, and you can press the lighting so that the application won't have to like rebuild entirely. See, login. There you go. Okay, we're good. Okay, yeah. Don't worry about this. So let's start configuring our login activity. And so basically, before I continue, I want to show you guys an image, just so you guys have something somewhat clear. And please pardon my I'm not the best artist here, but hopefully this may help a little bit. I don't know. So this is what's happening. So this is our login activity, right? Poorly drawn, but when we launch the app, we're going to be faced with this, and the user basically either inputs the data, and then once the user inputs the data is going to be sent to the Firebase database, and the Firebase database is going to either confirm or deny the access. Upon that, it will most surely, like 9 times out of 10, like the user will have granted access, and then the user will continue towards the main activity of the application or the other activities. The other thing that can happen is that the user doesn't have an account, so from here he clicks the link and he goes to the, like here, he clicks these links and he goes to the register page, which we'll do in the next video. And when the user clicks those links, he's gonna go here. So that's basically the gist of what's happening. And there's more things that happen behind the scene that Firebase handles, because Firebase is a serverless technology, which means that you don't have to deal with all the endpoints, database checks, etc. or whatnot. But basically what's happening is that Firebase checks your username and your password. And first it checks whether the username exists or not. If you're signing in, it has to exist in order for you to first check if they can go through the process. If your username does exist, then you go through the check process, and then Firebase checks whether your password hashed or scrambled matches whatever scramble they have, and if that does match, then you have the granted access. So basically that's more or less what happens behind the scenes, but you don't know any of that, and you don't want to know any of that, because us right now, what we're going to do in the video is basically just the UI and very simple login. So just so you guys can understand what more or less is happening behind the scenes. But let's continue, and I'm gonna close this. Well, actually, continue console. Yeah, you guys just had to click continue, and that was it. We go into the authentication section, and in order for this to work, we're going to set up a sign-in method, which is going to be email and password, and we're going to enable it. So we enable it, we click save, and then we'll go to under student to set up the login activity. So now the good part, and this is why I love Kotlin. So for me to do the login activity, it literally took me 59 lines. That's nothing compared to the Java version that I have. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that I really like Kotlin. It's very, very concise. So let's start. Well, actually, before I start setting up the login activity, let's do the UI. That's you. Let's do margin star 50p, margin m 50p, and margin top 50p, and let's do top off parent, meaning that this is going to be, well, actually this could be bottom top off. Nope, can't. It's top off. This is gonna stand at the top, like at the top of the parent element, which is the whole constraint layout. And then we want to send enter that. And then the background, let's go to colors quickly and get the colors done. And I'm just gonna copy paste this because, yeah, I don't think there's a need for me to explain the colors. Just basically UI. So let's choose a background. Okay, so we have text view, then we want to have two edit text fields, and we want to have one button and two links. And this video is already 21 minutes long, so I'm just gonna copy paste the fields. So I don't think this is really needed for me to explain it. Yeah. So check this out. So here's the text view, which is right here. This is the edit text, which you cannot see right now properly. But this is where the username goes, where the password goes, button, first link, second link, or first text, the link. So now this right here, what we're missing is the round edit text style for the edit text and the round button style. So let's create those right now. So we're going to drawable, and we're going to call it just like right here, round edit style. And again, I'm just going to copy paste this because I don't think there's a need for me to explain this, it's pretty evident. I'm choosing a gradient here, which goes from this color to this color at 180 degrees, which goes from left to right. And the corners, I'm adding some radius, as you can see here. So I'm gonna make it, I'm making the style a little bit rounded. So, oh shit, that should have been for the button. Well, let's create the bottom one, and I'll just copy paste it into the bottom. So round begin style, and we want to do so this is for the bottom, and then this is going to be for the field. There you go. So there you go. There we have the UI of the login. Now let's move on and let's make not the feature or the method, but all the logic and functionality. So first things first, we want to declare our Firebase variables. Oh, and also this is very useful. So you see this right here, lock T, and we press enter, and it types that for me. So this is a snippet, and I think you guys have to add it. I'll show you guys later where to get exactly this, because it took me some time to get this. You guys won't have it by default, so you guys will have to type this manually, but I'll put it in the second video because it's actually really useful, and having a tag is actually also really useful too. Anyway, so moving on, Now let's declare our Firebase variable. So private var and on firebase-auth. So this is totally arbitrary, the m-auth. I think it comes from member, but I may be wrong, I don't know. Like, it's a convention that now Firebase uses and almost everybody uses, calling the variable m-auth. So I'm just gonna go with it because you're gonna see a lot in the docs people put in this variable like this. So now the first thing that we want to do is basically we want to let this activity know about these elements right here. We want to let the activity know that we're going to have two edit texts that we're going to be interacting with, a button, and for now that's it, because right now we're not using the text view. Text view, this right here, which is a link, we're gonna set it up later when we have the register, because in this video I just want to at least get done the login. So set elements from layout. So well, actually, I'm trying to think if we really have to set them up right now. I don't think so. We'll set them up later when we do on click for the bottom, but for this, not really. On the on create, not really. Not that I recall, at least. What we do have to do though is get an instance from Firebase. That way we can log in. So we have our Firebase variable, and we're going to do m-auth get instance. So we get an instance, meaning that we try to get an auth instance. That way we can get the user information and whatnot. And yeah, I may not know too much in depth about this, but basically we want to set this up in order for us to log in and get a token for the user. That way the user has an instance or a session, etc. So now let's do the onClick method. So the onClick method is going to be fired when the user clicks the sign in or login button. So arrive function onClick. I'm waiting for that. Am I missing some implementation? Oh yes, here. So we want to import this. It's the weird way Kotlin imports some of the methods. So the way I did this, or the way I saw this in the docs, is like this. So when you get the view ID, you want to get make sure that you're interacting with the login button, right? So what you want to do is set the value of the email equals to the edit username text. Okay, so this right here, you're saying I want to create a variable called email, and that is going to equal to where the edit username, and the edit username is right here. Edit username, there you go, the first one. So edit username is right here. When the user inputs information and clicks the sign in button. That's like the final state of, or the final information of the username input. That is going to be equal to the email, and we're going to do the same with the password. Password text string. So validate. Actually, before I do this, let's create a validate method. It's actually going to be very, very short. So private function validate email, which is of type string with an uppercase, and then password, which is also a data type string, that we're gonna set it equal to email dot is not empty, and password dot is not empty. Now you guys may be asking yourselves, what the hell is happening right here? So what I'm doing right here is setting up a function that this is going to return whether a true or false value. Because if this is not empty and this is not empty, then it's going to be true. Otherwise, it's going to be false. So what we want to do with that is basically this. So if we call this function validate, and we grab the data here, the email, which we get it from here, and the password. Am I typing wrong? Yeah. You have to type that there. And the password, if it's not empty, then we go ahead with the Firebase process, which is an auth, signing with, signing with email and password, and we're going to feed it the email, comma, password, and we want to add on complete listener, which is this right here, meaning that if it's completed, it's going to be listening to the completion of this method. And once it's completed, whether it's successful or not, it's going to do something else. So right here, what we're doing is, if it's successful, we want to start a new activity. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's Freebird. Love Freebird. But yeah, so we start a new activity, which the context of the activity, we're calling it from this activity, and we want to go to the main activity in the case that this is successful. So once we do that, we'll finish the process. Now if it's not successful, then we want to show a toast saying that, hey, you put something wrong, whether your password or email. But so I created something really cool. So I'm going to create a Kotlin class here called utils, and we're going to be filling this class with more and more stuff. But for now, let's just do this method, which I think is really slick when I saw it. So function, and it's going to use the context of wherever you're using the function. So show toast text string. So it's going to take a string, and whichever string you put, it's going to display it in a toast. The duration is always going to be fixed, which is going to be of length short, which is kind of like the default of the short length of the toast. And then once we put that, we're going to create our toast here ourselves using this context, or the context of this class with the text. and the duration that we set up as default. Show. There you go. And you'll see why this is so useful. Because instead of putting toast and that awkwardly setup, you just type show toast, and we can just let the user know that you must have entered to run email or password. So it's not the it's not the most solid validation. There's still there should be more validation. For example, like whether they're not putting in an actual email and they're just putting like a username, or I don't know if you want to put a minimum length to the password. But since the video is getting a little bit long, it's already 35 minutes. I really don't want to dig into that just yet. But yeah, we'll do it in the future for sure. So yeah, that's it. If this didn't go successful, meant that something went wrong, and if something went wrong, meant that either the password or the email weren't inputted correctly. That's why this was not successful. Now here, the else means that the validation was not true, which means this was empty or this was empty or both. So I want to say, please enter email and password. So even though they just put one, we need to let them know that I need to put both. Sometimes people mess up and you just have to put that. So now that we have this, we basically did this in 50 lines. Not bad, huh? Now, in order for this to work and to verify that this works, first we're going to create a user manually. So we're going to go to authentication, to users, we're going to click add user. And I'm just going to put my email, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a random sample password. And as you can see here, here's the password hash. And this is what I was explaining a bit ago of how like Firebase compares this hash soup compared to, against what the user inputs, because that input is also hashed with the same algorithm, and if that like hash soup matches this, they grant access. But whatever, we don't have to care about that. But I don't know, just something interesting for you guys to know. So let's try our login method. Oh, and let's get rid of this because this is horrible. At least I don't like it. So let's do styles. Let's do no action bar, and also let's click lightning just to see the lightning bolt, just to see a quick change. There you go. That's much better. Now I don't know, let's type like just this, right? We should have some validation. Oh, you know what I'm missing? I was going too fast. I'm missing that's why it was too short. I was wondering. Click. Set and click listener. Yep, I was missing that. So set the on-click listener method upon activity creation. So this onCreate method right here means that it's going to set up everything when the activity loads. So basically everything that you want to have upon initiation of the activity should be in here, which that includes the onClick, which I forgot to set up. But just a quick line. So on btn, set onClick listener. I'm just going to do this, and that's it. super quick. So we do the hot reload. Okay, apply changes. So now we should see this. So if I click sign in, we should see some validation saying please fill in all the fields. Please enter email and password. Good. Now let's type my email, the proper one, which is right here. I'm just gonna type like whatever. So I click sign in. Now you must have entered the wrong email or password. So it still doesn't grant me access because I didn't type my right password. Now let's do the actual one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's click sign in. Perfect. So we're here in the main activity, which we should be seeing this right here. Hello world. Cool. So let's see the mark. Probably I went over 40. Yeah, that's too long. But hey, at least you guys saw how the database connected. You guys saw the UI, and then on the next video I'm going to be able to show the register method, and I want to expand upon this application. So yeah, be waiting for the next video. So please give it a like, subscribe, and see you guys later.